Over the past 8 years, fatal drug overdoses have become the leading cause of unnatural death here in Virginia. But in the past year, the pandemic has led to an enormous 63% increase in the number of people dying from illegal drugs. In this week's You Are Not Alone segment, Tracy Sears shares one mother's heartbreaking story.
The smile on her face, she had such a gorgeous smile.
Cassie Godsey's life wasn't supposed to end like this. Her mother always clung to hope that it wouldn't.
You know, you got that vision that just sticks with you, and she wasn't ready to go. She wanted to live. She wanted for tomorrow to come. She intended for tomorrow to come.
Cassie died on January 22nd after nearly a decade-long struggle with addiction that started with a broken collarbone.
They just gave her pills after pills after pills, and I didn't know.
While Cassie was in and out of rehab, the pandemic only made matters worse.
It did take a trajectory fast downhill over the past year.
Cassie ended up in jail in December on drug charges. When she was released a month later, a COVID diagnosis prevented her from entering a rehab facility. She died just days before she was to begin new treatment injections in Maryland to help control the anxiety that was often hurting her chances for recovery.
Well, there's a treatment for PTSD called the SGB injection, stellate ganglion block.
Injection treatments in the neck that doctors are now finding successful in helping some addicts recover.
It's heartbreaking. I'm thrilled and heartbroken all at the same time because I just had a feeling it was a ticket. We would, that missing piece for her especially.
Cassie's story is familiar to many addicts and their families.
A lot of addiction is a direct result of feelings, mental health, trauma, stress.
Here's my heart goes out to you and your family.
John Shinholzer is the founder of the McShin Foundation, a nonprofit recovery organization.
So the pandemic is making our addiction epidemic, it's going to be twice what it was, maybe 3 times what it was.
Shinholzer says stress and uncertainty have led to new addicts, people who never before had problems with drugs or alcohol. For those already struggling with addiction, the loss of face-to-face peer support services has been detrimental. McShin says government funding is crucial as more than 80% of addicts have a fighting chance of recovery when they continue with peer support programs for at least 5 years after initial treatment.
We're not going to solve addiction. Deaths are not going to go away. However, I do believe that we can reduce by 50% the impact addiction's having in our communities just by engaging and funding these non-government organizations. We're uniquely qualified to do what we do.
Dad, this would be easier to have somebody to blame.
Patricia Godsey says no parent should ever have to bury a child, and she hopes others come to better understand the disease of addiction.
That's one thing about, coming out with everything. Cassie wasn't ashamed. She is who she was, but she didn't want to be judged.
According to the Office of the State Medical Examiner, 2020 will be the worst year on record by far for fatal overdoses in Virginia. If you or someone you love is battling addiction, we have a list of resources on our website that can help.